Hello everyone, my name is Daniel and today I will review the game Mineirinho Ultra Adventures, or in English Minor Ultra Adventures. Well, I will analyze every detail of this game, starting from the menus, gameplay, mechanics, level design, graphics, interface, and so on so far. As you can see guys, here we have the menus of the game and they are all pretty simple. They have only 4 options. We can see that we have play, controls, credits, and exit. As you can see on my gameplay on the back, the control panel is pretty straightforward. You can only use the arrows and the keys Z and X to do the actions. Relating to Z is a jump and X is the attack. To the credits, it's also super straightforward. You here have a picture of the game designer Dennis and a sponsor from Dom Zelitos restaurant or whatever is that. Also, players cannot use the mouse in the game. You have to use the arrows to select what you want. So what I found out doing that is that the spacing between the options are not the same. As you can see, I can literally select nothing between play and controls. I can literally put my selector between play and controls. Other things that are not working in the menu is the layout of the menu basically. So where you have different fonts for every word literally in the title. So you can see Mineirinho is it's a font, Ultra is another one, and Adventure is another one. So plus when you have this layout, you can see the art style that it was choosing to do this layout was not modern at all. And even if this game was released 20 years ago, the layout would still look awful. We can compare that with Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, or you can even compare with older games like Super Mario 64, which the game designer said was the biggest influence for this game. So about the music, that I will still talk about the soundtrack later, but on the other hand, we can see that every time that you select a different option in the menu, the music restarts, probably driving the player crazy. Okay, let's go to the best part of the game, which is basically the gameplay and the level design. So in this game there is two different types of stage. So in the first stage, which is the one that you're seeing in the back, so you have a Mario 64 type of game, which is a 3D platform game where you have one-eyed enemies mostly. You have moving platforms, you have jumping platforms, you have obstacles that you need to get past through and all of that. And the second type is on the second stage, where you have a sliding type of stage where your character basically needs to slide down, dodging your enemies that are coming through. You need to jump over obstacles, and you need a certain type of ability or skills to keep dodging until the end of the stage. Okay, so it's just so let's go in parts, right? So the first is, let's say in the first stage, players can really get confused here because of the level design of the stage. There is no indication where you should go, where you should not go, what will kill you, what will not kill you. I mean, you kind of can guess that your one-eyed green monsters will kill you if they eventually get in touch with you, but you don't know if you can just jump on his head or you need to use the axe attack. Well, so let's be honest here. So between all the different obstacles that you need to go and face with, which are the monsters, which is the moving platforms, which is the jumping platforms that you need to jump into to get to safe lands. Let's talk about the your worst enemy here in this game, which is the camera. So the fact that you cannot control the camera, it's always gonna kill you somehow. Or you're not gonna see your enemy, or you're gonna have no idea where you should go, you're gonna get lost, and then some house, your character is gonna die, and you're gonna restart and go back to the beginning of the stage. And believe it or not, it is not only the camera that is not working properly in this game. Actually, everything is not working properly in this game. So let's start with the basic movements of the character. So the character every time that you want to jump, you can jump or double jump. Every time that you want to do a single jump, the character you probably do a double jump. And every time that you press to do a double jump, he will do the single jump, which is just stupid and will kill the player a bunch of times. It's the same for the attack. Sometimes you will press the attacking button and he will not attack, and sometimes you press once and he will do a triple attack or something. Back to the jumping part, you also can bug the game a little bit, so you can, instead of doing double jumps, you can do triple jumps. Same for attacks. Instead of like just throwing your hat, you will throw like more than once, and you get confused because of that. Let's keep on going. Let's talk about a little bit of the level design, which is just crazy, right? You have in the first stage, you have like a water mill, you have a castle, you have island that you have to jump into, and there's no sign at all telling you where you should go and where you should not go. You have this place that you can slide back down, and then you need to jump, and you have that bridge which has some gaps in it that you might fall if you're not paying attention. But the basic idea is that the controls do not respawn, and the props in the scenario, they definitely do not help you at all. There is this part where you need to jump to a moving platform, and then you jump again to another one that is moving vertical. One is moving vertical and the other one is moving horizontal. You need first to jump in the horizontal one moving, and believe it or not, those two platforms they are moving different speeds, which are not synchronized, which makes them not synchronized. So if the player keeps waiting for a good time, guess what? There will be no good time to jump at all. If you want to jump, you have to do it like as soon as you can, because if you keep waiting for a good opportunity, there will be no good opportunity at all. Also, you have like the jumping platforms that you can go and jump into to get to a higher level. I really need to say, sometimes you want to jump there and your character will jump really low, like you were jumping nothing. Sometimes you're gonna jump there and it goes super high, higher than you expect, and your camera gonna bug you and you probably will die. Also, I always forgot to mention, every time that you're not playing the game, or every time that you're not paying attention, your character moves by itself. He goes either to the left or to the right. He keeps moving because of the weird animation that he has. So if you're not paying attention, you're gonna make a jump, and as soon as you land, your character is gonna move and you're gonna fall off the cliff, and you're gonna die, and you're gonna be back to the beginning of the stage. Because again, another huge problem of that game is that there is no checkpoint, there is no save, there is no way that you can save. So if you keep playing for 1 hour just to get through the first stage, and you got through the first stage and you need a break, and you need to, exit the game for a little bit, walk, get water, whatever. Once you're back and you want to play to the second stage, you're going to be back to the first one, because the game does not save. So you're always gonna be trapped in the first stage. The only way to get over with if you finish the game in one run. If you can do that, you're good, but otherwise you're just gonna be stuck in the first stage. So now let's move to the second stage of the game, where I actually the place where I got. So it's basically a sliding stage where you need to slide down this crazy surface and you need to dodge enemy. But again, the controls do not work. Sometimes your character is gonna go down and you're gonna go down super slow and you will not understand why, and some enemy that your camera is not seeing gonna hit you and you're gonna die. Other times it's gonna go so fast that you cannot control your character properly, and Super Minor is gonna die as well. Again, jumping. If jumping is already hard when you're walking with the character, imagine when you're sliding and you cannot control how fast you're going, so it just makes us hard. So every time that you need to jump over an obstacle, it's just a headache, and most of the time your jump is not gonna go the way that you were expecting it to go, and you were gonna die and you're going back to the beginning of the stage. Again, another thing that's really a problem here is that if you really want to, you can turn back and go uphill in those sliding down stages, which I'm not the game designer. Didn't talk to him, but I'm pretty sure it was not supposed to happen. Like, at all. There is no reason you to go back. Only if it's just a bug and you're exploiting it to, turn around an obstacle and try to win the game with bugs, which is pretty much what everyone is doing right now. First things first. Never, I say, never press the key escape. Again, never. So the game does not have an in-game menu, so if the player decides to press this specific key, the game will automatically close. And guess what? As soon as you go back to the game, we will restart, going back to the beginning. Saying this, now we can go to the interface part. Again, it is the most simple interface a game can have. On the top left, we have a heart that symbolizes the number of hit points the player can get before dying. If the player dies, the character will respawn on the very beginning of the stage. And on the other hand, we have on the top right, we have a little hat that symbolizes the weapon you're carrying during that time. Yes, you can have different weapons, but we talk about that later. So that brings us to the mechanics. Meaning you can basically walk straight and walk backwards. Also, he can turn in the same axis to any side the player wants. He has single and double jump, and he can slide down surfaces. He can surface, and he can attack using a specific attack depends on the weapon that the player is carrying. One thing that this game lacks a lot is the fact that players cannot control the camera. The camera it's self-controlled by the game, and honestly that does not really work, but we're gonna talk about that on the gameplay section. Relax here. Okay. So let's go to the props. So during the walkthrough, props like flying hearts or food will appear to the player. So the player can choose get it, or the player can choose if he wants to get it or not. So if the player decides to get the hearts, the number Each heart represents one extra hit point that the player can get. So if he keeps getting hearts, he keeps getting more and more health. So the other things like food on the game is, so the food represents different weapons besides the hat. Yeah, as I know, you have a hat for your standard weapon and you have food for different weapons. Who knows? It decided that. So you can find pizza, you can find a chicken, you can find pepper, a sandwich, and a hot dog. Besides, of course, your standard, which is your hat. So which one has a unique attack? Let's start with the chicken. The chicken, you can throw bombs like a machine gun. You can literally shoot bombs in your enemies. So the sandwich, now the sandwich, you can barf super waves. You literally barf. Well, the gameplay is self-explanatory. You have the pepper. You can also barf, but this time you were barfing fire, which is pretty cool. You have the hat, which is your standard weapon that you can throw like Kung Lao from Mortal Kombat. And you have my favorite, which is the pizza that you can throw like a vertical shuriken that will stuck somewhere. Do a crazy animation, which I suppose it is an explosion, and it might kill your enemy if you were good enough with your aim. Okay, so talking about this, we have also the hot dog. But guess what? I didn't get past to the second stage of the game, and the hot dog only shows up in the third stage, which I couldn't get it. Okay, let's go to the last part of this game analysis. After analyzing every part of the gameplay, every part of the menus, every part of the character's movement, everything that is working and is not working, believe me, I can't think of anything right now that is working this game after playing for more than 3 hours. And only getting to the second stage, we will discuss right now about the soundtrack. Okay, look, I don't know the guy, Dennis, I don't know why, but I know the soundtrack it is not original from the game. It is actually a no, it's a version of famous songs that actually copyright cannot get. So it's a mid version of good songs. So in the very first stage, the song that plays the whole time and keeps playing and playing, it is a song called "Bowling for the Soup" from Gilligan's Island. I actually went to search it and I found that, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't have the copyright for that. And as a good game designer, I believe you should have the copyright for the songs that you're doing. You know, you should have permission to use a song that is not yours, or at least you should develop your own song for your own game. But it's okay. But I guess, I mean, that's what he did. And I didn't find the menu song, but I'm pretty sure I didn't want to go looking for it because I kind of over with. But the second stage, I'm pretty sure is a Green Day song too that is playing on the back. I'm not really 100% sure, so I cannot affirm that, but I believe it's a Green Day song. I listen to Green Day, I like them, so it reminds me a lot. If it's not, I might be wrong, but for sure, the first song that plays in the first stage, it is a copyrighted song. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any rights to put that in the game. Another thing that it's also worth commenting on, as if you go to the reviews on Steam, and if you check for people that actually commented on the game trying to get it better, you know. So I found some comments from this guy. It's called Filthy Prank. It is in Portuguese, I'm sorry, the game, it's unfortunately it's a Brazilian game. But so What fifth prank? Let's believe he's not a fifth Frank. What Filthy Frank said is that, so I didn't like her game, and I think you as a developer should fix the bugs, and you think you should, you know, get it better and get your mechanics working because it's not working. And this guy here, Blaine Master, is the developer of the game, is actually Dennis, and he said, "You are trash. Go the F word. Your ass." The rest you guys know. I'm not gonna lose my time with that. And I'm pretty sure, again, I'm not yet a game developer, but I'm pretty sure if you are a game developer and someone comments on your game and say, "Hey, your mechanics doesn't work," which they clearly don't work, and they also comment like, "Hey, your game is really bad," which is clearly really bad. The guy cannot just go and say, "I hate you, go F yourself." I will not pay attention for your comment. I will not waste my time on your comment. Like, dude, Dennis, I'm talking to you right now. This guy just bought your game. He's actually giving you a review what he's thinking about it, and you really should take that in consideration. I know you're not gonna solve the problems of your game, because clearly you don't know how to do it. If you did know how to do it, you probably would never release that game. You would be something much better. I mean, honestly, do you one advice that I got to play for almost 4 hours this game is that just fix the camera, make me control my camera using the mouse, whatever. The game will be so much playable. It will be another game completely. It will be like actually a playable experience. Otherwise, it's just not playable at all. So for you that watches that and actually is thinking to spend your precious dollar, you want to throw a $1 in the trash. Actually, you want to take $1 and just throw in the trash. You can buy this game, you can play, but honestly, may the Force be with you, because even if you are a Jedi or a Sith Lord, whatever, I'm pretty sure even the Force cannot help you with this game.